Hello, welcome back to my channel. My name is Alexis. I am a disabled powerlifter from Pennsylvania and an exclusive athlete with Buff Bunny collection. Today I will be going over their new collection, which is called One More, that embodies resilience, commitment, and the pursuit of being your best self. It's about embracing the discomfort of growth, celebrating small wins, and pushing boundaries, whether it's one more breath, one more pose, or one more set. Buff Bunny equips you with the tools to conquer every step of your journey, no matter where you are or where you're headed. One More isn't just about repetition, it's about progress. The extra breath that deepens your pose, the extra hold that builds your core. Please use my code LEXI, L-E-X-I, at checkout on any of your Buff Bunny collection purchases to save 10%, but also support me as an athlete and allow the team to know that I am growing. I'm going to go right into the squat test for all of the bottoms, including the bodysuit. You know, last year at this time, I wasn't an athlete. I was shopping each collection and watching a bunch of people's different reviews. And there have been times where I didn't know to look for people doing a squat test. If they're wearing just skin tone underwear, it's not really a true, squat test. I can't really see if the fabric is opaque or not. And from my perspective, I like to do a little R&D, be very in-depth and look at things and inspect them. I want you to know what the fit and the feel is like. I want you to look at the item as if you're viewing it right in front of you. So there's a lot of work that goes into this because I'm a type A personality, but also I want to give y'all everything that I wanted to see when I was watching these reviews. For a winter collection, I'm so happy to see some brighter colors. Here are the colorways that we have for this launch. We also have the return of bossy print in the azul color. The design team has made large strides in order to restore Nubray fabric. Their intention was initially to make it a little bit softer, but Nubray fabric that we have now is exactly, I think, what the team was aiming for. A little softer, still dense and compressive, but slightly stretchy. Basically, Nubray fabric is mostly restored to its original form, which I'm very happy for. Updates to the Poshknit fabric made its first debut in the deadlift collection, and it had like this suede-like feel to it and very warm to the touch. Now it doesn't feel as suede-like, it's more softer, and then it's not as warming to the touch, but it's still a dense, fabric, and it is slightly stretchier now too. I think Boyfriend or Genesis collection is when Dream Heather was first introduced, and it was a lot more dense. Now it is a little bit more stretchy and softer. So that is an update. So all of these like different feels in the fabric was confirmed by the design team, or Heidi, the CEO of Buff Bunny collection. So I just wanted to kind of give y'all a really quick update on those fabrics and kind of the difference that I felt in them. As always, my measurements are going to be listed in the description box below. I have timestamps below so that way you can skip around to your favorite or most desired items. First up, we have the Scrunch Poshknit sports bra. This is coming in 4 different colors. It is made of Poshknit fabric. I will say that Poshknit fabric feels a little bit different now, but essentially it is more of a light to medium support and compression fabric. A sweetheart neckline, a halter strap design, and then a nice large open back. It does come with removable bust pads. Bust side contouring, that beautiful scrunch design. The back band swoops in, and the whole strap that connects in the back for that halter, and then that band is nice and wide, so I think it's going to have a lot of good back lat coverage. Open U-shaped back, the silicone Buff Bunny emblem. I don't quite know if you can see that, but there is a thin elastic band that's about this wide that is enclosed and runs all throughout the bottom. I don't think it's going to lend any support to the bust, but I do think it's going to just help hold you in place. On the top, all throughout the bra, there is no band or elastic added. It is simply that fabric stitched. Bust pads are removable from a slit in the side because of that scrunch, a little bit of a bra cup shelf separator. The Catered sports bra has that scrunch front, and it has a sweetheart neckline and a little bit of bust contouring on the side. Similar to the new Poshknit sports bra, it does have a very thin elastic band that runs all throughout the bottom of the sports bra. So I do generally want to compare the scrunch height. This is a size medium and this is a size large, and as you can see, the scrunch height, or kind of like how deep that v-neck will go, is pretty much the same. wearing is this, the Estes print from the Deadlift collection. This is the first Poshknit sports bra that we had from BUFFBUNNY collection. This halter neck band or strap was really tight and dug into my neck. Looking where the stitching connects for that halter strap, and we compare the length, it stops right here at the base of like the sweetheart neckline, is longer than where it starts here for the Deadlift collection Poshknit sports bra. So I do think that this is going to fit a little bit more friendly, and I'm going to tell y'all right now, the Poshknit fabric feels a little bit lighter and stretchier compared to what we saw in the original comparison. So this is me stretching out the Poshknit from the Deadlift collection. It just feels a little bit softer and stretchier. And to that, it doesn't feel as like warm to the touch and suede like it did in its original form. You can see that it's brushed, but it's not like as brushed. It's a lot more kind of fuzzy and brushed looking in its original form from the Deadlift collection. So just an observation that I made, that I'm like, the fabric doesn't exactly look the same, you know? And the design team has explained that they want Poshknit fabric to fit more true to size and not be as, you know, tight and compressive. The Poshknit Sunbeam Yellow is just a little bit more vibrant than the yellow that we saw in the Juicy collection. However, this is new braid fabric, I believe. So it's not going to be exactly the same, but pretty similar to what we saw in the Juicy collection. I wasn't a Poshknit sports bra fan until now. This kind of has like an inverted V design at the bottom, and I think that's a really nice little detail. It kind of accentuates my bust and makes my bust look a little bit more voluptuous. But this is it. It is so cute. I love the yellow color. It's very flattering on my flatter chest, and I think it just fits very well. And maybe that's because the Poshknit fabric now feels a little bit more stretchier and slightly thinner than it did from the Deadlift collection. But first impression is that it is really flattering. I have a flatter chest profile, and I think with my like wider upper body frame, this halter neckline just kind of scoops in and pushes my chest together a little bit, so that's really flattering. That scrunch detail in the center, it has a really good amount of boob coverage. The straps are actually, I think, almost the perfect length. I have a longer torso, so I do think that this would be the perfect length on an average torso length girly, but it's just a tiny bit tight on my neck, not nearly as tight as the one from the Deadlift collection. But so here it is from the front, and then from the side profile, it has a really good amount of lat coverage. Here it is from the other side, and I like that it has such a large side panel compared to the bra from the Deadlift collection, because it swoops down and tapers down into a smaller size. Here it is from the back, nice and relaxed, and I think it is very wide back frame friendly, and I don't feel it like moving down too much. I do feel the bottom part of the bra, because it has that very small elastic band throughout the bottom, I do feel that kind of digging in a little bit, but nowhere near as ill-fitting and as bad as the one from the Deadlift collection. So I'm definitely a much larger fan of this. For the jump test, again, I do have like a smaller, flatter chest profile, but for the jump test, I definitely think it is more of a light support sports bra. I would not recommend, you know, doing cardio in this bra, but if you were doing some strength training, I think you would be fine. Because it is still a denser fabric compared to new braid fabric, it is going to hold in a little bit more sweat. It's not going to dry it as fast, and because this is a light color, you are going to see some sweat a little bit more apparent. Sorry, the lighting's not great because my light died. But I do think that this is fair in being sweat wicking, and it is also fair in showing sweat. This is definitely more of a small bust friendly sports bra. I think if you are larger busted, you would be okay wearing this, but just not for any like large movement exercises, because that bottom band is just so slight. It's not really for support, more just to kind of stay in place. So I think this is more small bust friendly. If you are large busted, I definitely think this could be an option for you, just not for high intensity movement. Stay true to size for this sports bra. You do not want to size up or down. I think for me and my body type with a wider upper body frame, it fits around my lats and my back pretty well, and the like halter neckline straps fit pretty well. So I definitely think you should stay true to size. Overall, I'm gonna have to rate this sports bra a 9 out of 10, and the only two reasons why it's losing 2 half points for me and my personal preferences is because, number one, I wish that halters had like an adjustable strap that was like on one side, because for someone who has a longer torso like me, it would have been nice to just be able to adjust that so it wasn't as tight. And the other thing, I do wish that this had a little bit more of like a wider or thicker elastic band just to give a little bit more support, but that's just for me and my personal preferences. Overall, I'm actually really impressed with this sports bra. I like this the most out of any of the Poshknit sports bras that we have seen, so I'm definitely going to be purchasing this on launch day in a different color, because this is the first halter sports bra that I think has fit me pretty well, and I'm very impressed with it. And it's funny because I did not have this on my original PR package wish list. It was the last thing I was gonna add, and I was just like, you know what, I'm gonna get it because it's good to review it for everybody. I'll try something new, and I actually really like it. So as is, it's exactly as described, and I would highly recommend it. Next up, we have the Bloom sports bra. The Newbury fabric that this Revolution sports bra and Legacy leggings are made of has been restored. It's only coming in 2 different colors. This is Azul, which is like a purpley blue, and it's just so pretty. It is made of Newbury fabric, a medium compression and support. It is fairly stretchy. It's a little bit of a sweetheart neckline, a scrunch front, these really pretty straps that kind of contour around the armpits and lead into a multiple strap kind of racer back design, and those straps end here. The racer back, we have a straight across band that goes all throughout the bottom. That longer band makes this a long line sports bra. This does come with bust pads that are removable from the inside. And going into a few of the details, beautiful scrunch front, straps that swoop from the side panel into the back, a few straps that were added and that connect to this kind of wider racer back design. Just really nice stitch quality, very soft stitching that is kind of smaller and won't dig into you or be uncomfortable. Silicone BUFFBUNNY emblem, long line band. It's simply the fabric folded over and stitched into the bra. On the inside of the bra, there is an elastic band that's added throughout the bottom of the bust line, and that goes all the way around the bra, and that's just going to give you a little bit of support to your bust. That scrunch acts as a bra shelf separator, slit to remove your bust pads on the side, and other than that, there's really no additional details I can point out. Size large, and it just ran larger on me because the Newbury fabric last year was like softer, stretchier than the original Newbury fabric. I know they're different sizes, but the Newbury fabric from last year just has a lot more stretch to it. BUFFBUNNY collection has gone through great lengths with their manufacturers to make sure that they really, restore the fabric. I will say it does feel softer and stretchier, so a little bit more brushed than the original Newbury fabric, but it is definitely more dense and it feels very comparable to the original, so I'm very happy it has been restored. I did order a medium, not knowing that it's restored, so this is ill-fitting. It is a little bit too tight on me, but I'm still gonna give y'all a little bit of a breakdown in the review. So first off, it is flattering. It is a longer line sports bra, so we have this extra fabric here. Right off the bat, I do think it's pretty flattering in the front, but in the back, it definitely is too tight. So here it is from the side profile. It digs into my lats, again, because I sized down, not knowing that this is the restored dense Newbury fabric, so it does look ill-fitting and just too tight on my back. But here is the back, nice and relaxed for me. I don't think that the bottom band really moves around or moves up on me, so if I bend over, it does a little bit, but also I just think because the fabric is so stretched out, it's easy for it to roll up. So in terms of a jump test, again, keep in mind this is a size down for me, so it's not exactly my size, but for a jump test, the straps are really comfortable. I would say it's a medium to high support for me, but if I had my true size large instead of this medium, I think it'd be more of like a light to medium support sports bra. This is pretty durable. I have Newbury fabric that pills a little bit, but that's because I've worn like the leggings so much, so it's definitely durable. It's not going to snag on anything. It's not really going to pill unless it's like the leggings inner thighs. I definitely think Newbury fabric is sweat wicking. However, the lighter colors, not the prints, they're going to show a little bit more sweat, so you can see that there. This is kind of like fair on the pet hair scale. I don't have pets, but I do think that they, their fur could stick to this. If you see where the bottom elastic band is, it should hit right below the bust, and going around, it doesn't come up super high on the armpits, and it doesn't have an amazing amount of like lat coverage, but it's pretty good. I do think the Bloom bra is large and small bust friendly, and if you have a larger bust, you're gonna fill in the fabric and the chest a little bit more, so the fabric is going to pull down a little bit and it's going to appear a little bit more like that sweetheart neckline. But on me, because I have such a flat chest profile, it looks more like a square neckline, so just something to keep in mind. I definitely think that this is true to size. So overall, I'm going to have to give the Bloom sports bra a 9.5 out of 10. The only thing that I'm not really in preference for is that I I wish the sides had a little bit higher lap coverage because I feel like it would be a little bit more flattering for people who don't have like a lean back, you know? So if you had a little bit more coverage, it would just be a little bit better. But this is not my appropriate size. So I'm going to size up to a large and then report back to y'all on my Instagram stories. Hopefully the lap coverage is just a little bit better on the size large, my true size. So overall, I definitely am happy that all of the new Brave fabric items has been restored to its, or pretty close to its original form, and it's more dense. It's definitely going to be a little bit more supportive. Yeah, I'm really happy with this bra and I highly recommend it. Next up we have the deep V-neck pump cover. We last saw this in the cake collection and this is now coming back in 5 different colors. This is the lavender smoke color. It is made from viscose and spandex fabric, so it's very lightweight and super stretchy in all directions. It's more of a pump cover over a sports bra, kind of relaxed fit. The sleeves are pretty large and kind of taper down. We haven't seen the Buff Bunny collection metal coin emblems in a while, so it's kind of nice to see that come back, and that kind of pays homage to how they used to brand their items, and this was back in the cake collection. Just a nice simple back, and I want to show y'all really quick. The stitch detailing on the bottom of this is nice where it stretches with you. I think the arms are going to have a nice amount of stretch. It's a relaxed fit. And the neckline, that's what the stitch detailing looks like. I did size up to an extra large and I wanted to show y'all that it hits a little bit below my hip area, and in the back it almost barely covers my butt. I'm 5'6" and I have a longer torso. In the back it is just nice and simple. I don't think that this fabric is very durable. It's thin, it's slinky, it's bouncy. I do feel like it probably would pill if you rub it up against a turf surface at the gym or anything, so just kind of keep that in mind. I think because it's so thin and like breezy feeling, it's going to be sweat wicking. However, I do think that it's going to show sweat because it is a lighter color. I do think that this runs true to size. You could always size down for a little bit less of a deep V and a tiny bit more of like a fitted look. But I definitely would recommend just staying true to size. I sized up because I wanted it just a little bit more oversized. I don't think like pet hair would really stick to this because it's pretty like slinky. You could wear it slouchy, so off one shoulder if you wanted to. Tuck it in your leggings or, you know, tuck it with a hair tie, and then you could, you know, wear it like this. So if I wear this backwards and if I tie a knot, tuck that knot under, and you can wear it a little bit off the shoulder like this, but then in the back you have a nice open deep V in the back. So that's just a few different ways that you could style it. I'm really glad that I was able to snag this lighter color, and I think it looks so cute with the yellow. Oh my goodness. So highly recommend. Next up we have the beautiful Poshknit bodysuit. This is singly lined all throughout. Different than the Poshknit bodysuit we saw in the last collection, but Poshknit fabric feels a little bit lighter and softer and stretchier compared to what it felt like from the deadlift collection. In addition to that, it doesn't feel as like warm to the touch and suede like it did in its original form. But it's brushed, but it's not like as brushed looking in its original form from the deadlift collection. So just an observation that I made that I'm like, the fabric doesn't exactly look the same, you know? This is more of a light to medium compression and support fabric. Bodysuit pant leg or inseam length is 27 inches, so it's going to be a full length bottom. You can just see the way that it's shaped. It's going to be very like snatching. It has a V neckline, straps that lead into a crossover back design. In the back, it has this cute little twist design detail for the back kind of bra shelf band. That deep V glute contour at the top of the glute. For the bottom part of the back, it almost just looks like a pair of leggings. There's no like stitch seam, it's simply the fabric folded onto itself. There is an elastic band that was added in the glute rise for the leggings, and that just helps situate the glutes. And the bra shelf liner separated, it's not stitched in with the base of the bodysuit. The brushed elastic band that's pretty stretchy with bust pads that are removable from a slit on the side. The neckline and the straps have that same elastic band that's enclosed in the Poshknit fabric, and it also goes into the armpit area, but there is no elastic that I can feel in the back twist design part of the fabric. stitch detailing for the straps, so they feel really soft. The straps have tonal or dye to match metal hardware to make these adjustable, as well as down there. It's sewn into the base of the back of the bra very nicely, so it's not gonna like dig in you or feel itchy or anything. Twist back detail design is just nice and simple and twisted over. I feel like it's pretty stretchy still, even though it's like double layered. A triangle crotch gusset, no front right seam of course. Very fine stitch detailing that runs all the way down outer side of the bodysuit as well as the inside, but the inside stitch detailing is a little bit wider. Very durable and it stretches with the fabric. Cuff stitch detailing looks like, again, pretty stretchy. Inside of the bodysuit, one piece of fabric. This is the Poshknit bodysuit that we saw in the last collection. These are both a size large, and you can just see that this one looks larger because it's doubly lined and it didn't really stretch more than this, but the new Poshknit bodysuit is singly lined and it has a lot more stretch to it because it's just the Poshknit fabric, singly lined all throughout, not having that additional mesh. And that was just to act like shapewear. The new Poshknit bodysuit is going to be more small bust friendly because the very middle of the bust area rise height is the same as what we saw in the last bodysuit from the last collection. The elastic band that is in the Poshknit is the same that we have seen in other Poshknit leggings, so it's not as wide as the aggressive scrunch elastic band and it's not as stretchy. The bodysuit is giving body. It is so flattering. It feels super comfortable. Like, I'm very impressed with it. Definitely a full length bodysuit. This was a lot easier to put on compared to the Poshknit bodysuit that we just saw in the Warrior collection because the back band that is pretty stretchy, the straps are stretchy, and because of this opening, it was just pretty easy to put on. The chest area is flattering with that kind of deeper V, but keep in mind I have a flatter chest profile, so on me, under bust elastic band hits right underneath. There's not a whole lot of coverage, so I think if you are a larger chested girly, just kind of keep that in mind. This is definitely a light support sports bra. Even if I were to tighten up the straps, there's just not a lot of support under the bust. Here it is from the side. There's a good amount of under armpit and lat coverage. It doesn't dig into the lats, and I don't think it looks ill-fitting from the other side. There's no elastic in the lining of the opening. However, I do feel that it kind of presses my back down and I can kind of feel a little bit of bulging. It's like back rise of the legging portion of the bodysuit. It does come down a little bit, which doesn't bother me because it adds to the open back effect, but it does kind of move down as I'm moving around in it, so that's just kind of something to keep in mind. Where that opening is for the legging just adds a little bit more pull backwards, and I think it just kind of smooths out the sandy Poshknit fabric. It will wick away sweat, but not as drying as Nubray or like butter fabric or performance fabric. It will show sweat in lighter colors, and for the bottom half, although the fabric is singly lined, it still stretches out and kind of smooths out. In my fupa or lower belly area, I definitely think in the crotch area it's pretty flattering because of that elastic band glute rise. I think this is super flattering on the glutes, but in terms of being cellulite friendly, I think it's good because this fabric does smooth out. I have some pretty thick cellulite on this side, so I would say it's fair to good in cellulite coverage. So overall, I'm going to have to rank this a 9.5 out of 10 actually. I think the only thing that I'm not really in preference for is that I wish there was a little bit more support in the bust area. And then one thing I do want to point out, I feel like there's a little bit of like pulling or tugging, and you can kind of just see the bunching of the fabric on the sides. That's pretty much the only thing that I'm like not in preference for, but overall I'm really impressed with this bodysuit, especially with it not being like doubly lined. I still think it's pretty like flattering on my body type, so I highly recommend trying this out. I think that open back is just so cute and it's really comfortable. I'm definitely a huge fan of the bodysuit. I just think it's so well fitting and it will fit a lot of different body types. Next up we have the beautiful sunbeam yellow bend and snap dress. I'm going to go over the details in the top and then go over the details in the bottom. We last saw the bend and snap dress in the No Filter collection. This is coming in these two other blue and purplish hue colors. This is made of perform fabric and it is like a dense fabric. It's very stretchy in all directions, a square neckline, fit and flare design. This is only coming in one skirt length, which is regular. This does come with bust pads that are removable on the inside, elasticated straps that go into a crossover back design. There is a shorts liner. The short liner, I believe, is only a 3-inch inseam length. I have an iPhone 14 and the pocket is like stretchy enough where I can fit my phone in there. I want to point out that the liner is pretty simple and it doesn't have an open back. Princess or really fine small contour lines that help contour around the bust, taper in at the waist so you have the appearance of having a snatched waist, and then taper all the way down to the bottom of the straps are adjustable in the back, and they have tonal metal hardware where they match the color that will help lay nice and flat because it's like a wide band design. This does come up pretty high coverage, so a little bit higher than your mid back. Buff Bunny Collection silicone emblem. Rounded hemline design. Princess contour lines kind of expand as we get to the bottom of the dress, and here it is from the back. Again, there's really no significant design detail that I can point out to you. Inside the front part there is a built-in bra shelf, a small stitch seam to separate the bust pads. The bust pads are removable from a slit on the side. Kind of a thicker or wider elastic band just to give you a little bit of support. It stops once you hit the side panel. Shorts liner is pretty simple. In the front there's just 2 lines, and those help sew in the pocket, and then in the back there is no elastic band at all. There's just simply the stitching that's holding the top half to the bottom half of the shorts liner. Shorts liner for this Poshknit dress has this opening in the back. That way when you're going to sit down to use the restroom, you just pull this down over your bum and use the restroom. So I kind of wish that this bend and snap dress came back with that open back. That would have just been a little bit helpful to use the restroom. But when it came out in Catherine Mueller's No Filter collection, which is the first collection I was an exclusive athlete with Buff Bunny Collection for, and promoting it, I ended up, during the launch, I was in Japan on vacation with my fiance, and I wore the bend and snap dress like for 2 days when I was there, you know, doing all the touristy stuff, walking like 30,000 steps a day, and I loved it. Do you wish that it flared out a little bit higher up? So the bra shelf line is not supportive. While you have a good amount of lat and armpit coverage here, I think where the side panel expands out into the back is really good. And then here it is from the back with that crossover back design. It's comfortable. I don't feel like this is digging into me. Round opening down there. I do want to point out, when you have larger glutes, you kind of have this little tent effect in the back, and I wish that they were a little bit longer in the back, but that's just my personal preference, because like if I'm walking, I'm afraid that I might, you know, flash somebody, or if I'm walking up the steps, that could definitely happen. But the shorts liner is comfortable. The shorts are thick thigh friendly. I do kind of wish that the inner thigh part was just a little bit longer. This performance fabric is very sleek and smooth feeling. I do think that it pills and it can snatch on things, so just kind of be careful when you're sitting on something that's not going to snag this. Definitely sweat wicking, and it won't really show sweat because it's like a double layer, right? You have the shorts liner that is through the back, and then you have the skirt portion, and this is pretty much essentially doubly lined all throughout, so it's not really going to show sweat. I also wore my black bend and snap dress when I was in Atlanta, Georgia this summer. It was like 106 degrees with the humidity. Yeah, the black one actually did pretty well. It's not going to show sweat. I do think that this is pet and fur friendly because it's such a slick, smooth feeling dress. It is a little bit staticky, so I found it in some of my pictures that it just stuck to me, so just kind of keep that in mind. Overall, I do think this is true to size. I would potentially recommend sizing down. Here is the medium in the bend and snap dress. Again, there are no updates to the design since this first launched in Catherine Mueller's No Filter collection, and you can tell it kind of hugs around my belly just a little bit more. So you could size down to a medium, but understand that you're also risking the skirt length to just be a tiny bit shorter by like an inch, because Buff Bunny Collection does a really great job where as you go up in size, the like skirt length or, you know, rise height or length of the top would increase by an inch, and they do that way. As you go up in sizes, you have the same amount of coverage for all body types. So this medium just seems a little bit shorter on me, so you could size down. You're just going to risk it being a little bit more shorter, but I do think that the medium fits me better in the bust. Less gaping with the medium, so it fits my chest just a little bit better. So those are just a few things I wanted to point out, and you can see in the back that opening is just a little bit more stretched out. I'm going to have to give the bend and snap dress a 9 out of 10, and the only things that I'm not in preference for is that I feel like there's some gaping in the chest area, just because, I mean, I'm kind of flat chested, but I wish this wasn't a square neckline. It was maybe like a sweetheart neckline, or had a little bit more shape to the bust. I wish that it had more of a fit and flare, a little bit more dramatic and higher up. So like maybe it's just because I have a longer torso, but I find that the fabric just keeps kind of coming up a little bit. You see that there? So if I pull it down, it's a little bit smooth fitting down to about my hip area, and then it flares out. That could also just be because of the shape of my belly, but I do wish that it started to flare out here because that's where the fabric naturally wants to sit. But those are the only two things that I'm not really in preference for. Overall, I really do love this dress, and I was so excited to see it come back in the Valentine's Day kind of restock and those really pretty colors. But ultimately, this yellow, sunbeam yellow, just has my heart. So very happy with this. Highly recommend it. If y'all have not tried it out yet, definitely try it out. It's worth it. Next up are the Poshknit Flare Leggings, and this is coming in 3 different colors. It is made of Poshknit fabric. I do think the Poshknit fabric feels softer and stretchier and a little bit lighter than it did compared to the Deadlift collection. In addition to that, it doesn't feel as like warm to the touch and suede like it did in its original form. You can see that it's brushed, but it's not like as brushed and brushed looking in its original form from the Deadlift collection. More of a light to medium support fabric. It's coming in 3 different inseam lengths. I did get this in the regular length and a tapered waistband, and the waistband does not have any elastic at the top. It's simply the fabric folded onto itself, and that is how it is all throughout. Above the glute deep V contour, a silicone BUFFBUNNY emblem, and this Poshknit legging does not have an elastic band in the glute rise. It is simply a like wider stitch, which is kind of interesting because with the Poshknit bodysuit, it had an elastic band in the glute rise. Eye-shaped crotch gusset. From the side profile, we have that wider stitch detailing that runs all the way down the length of the legging, but around the waistband, we have this more closely resembles that of the Rosa, as the Legacy leggings kind of have this wider stitch. The Poshknit leggings in the Estes print that we saw from the Deadlift collection, glute rise elastic band to help situate and separate the glutes. So I'm actually really surprised that the new Poshknit leggings don't have an elastic band. The waistband, these are both a size large, match up waistband and to waistband, and they are the same waistband tapering as what we saw from the Deadlift collection. For comparisons of how dramatic the flare of these pant legs are, these are the flares from Catherine Mueller's No Filter collection. Newbray fabric, Legacy pocket flare leggings potentially, or they might be Rosa. These have the same flare width, and then these are seamless flare leggings, and so these have the largest flare. They do fit, you know, like a regular length. This fabric kind of accentuates the glutes and makes it look real nice. I do think that the waistband does feel a little bit more snug compared to like the hip area of the leggings. That the Poshknit fabric is pretty durable. I don't think it has pilled on any of the Poshknit items that I have. Going to conceal some sweat, and then the lighter colors will show sweat, so just kind of keep that in mind. It's fair in concealing my cellulite on this side. In terms of sizing, I do think that these are true to size, but they do roll down in the waistband a little bit. I think that's because the waistband is so tapered in. It's easy for these to kind of roll down on the sides because it's so tapered in, so that's just kind of something to keep in mind. But overall, I'm going to rank these a 9 out of 10. Waistband being so like snatched and tapered in. In the back, the rise almost seems a little bit lower, and that could just be because I have larger glutes, but that is something I'm not really in favor for, so that's the additional thing. I'm gonna show you here, just from, you know, bending down to talk to y'all, this came down. So I think the waistband just rolls down, and then it appears just a little bit shorter in the back. I am really happy with this. I will be keeping these. I think they are, for the most part, pretty flattering. Next up, we have the Dream Heather legging, and this has updated a few times in the last year since its initial launch. We last did see this in the Pulse collection, and it's been updated since then to have a triangle crotch gusset, but I think the first time we saw the Dream Heather legging was in the Genesis collection, and that was more of a mid-rise legging. This has been updated to have a high or ultra high rise to it. I do think that the Dream Heather fabric feels slightly stretchier and lighter than what it did compared to the Pulse collection. This is coming in 3 different colors. It is made of that Dream Heather fabric. It has a medium stretch to it in all directions. This is only coming in 26-inch inseam length, which is still a full length legging. Slight V waistband detail, no front rise seam. In the back, we have an above the glute deep V stitch detailing, glute contour, a silicone BUFFBUNNY emblem. Throughout the top of the waistband, it is the fabric simply folded in half. There's no top of the waistband stitch seam. The inside, we do have an elastic band in the glute rise, so that's just going to help situate the glutes. The waistband is tapered in just a little bit From the side profile, there is no side stitch seam, but on the inside of the legging, there is a wider stitch seam, triangular crotch gusset. From the Pulse collection, I have the Dream Heathered Flares, are a size extra large, and the Dream Heathered Flare leggings are a size large. I feel like they have a lot more stretch. From the crotch gusset all the way to the waistband, the glute rise was increased a little bit. And then from the bottom of the waistband to the top, it's the same distance. I am not sure if this glute rise had anything to do with this being an extra large and this being a size large, but I just wanted to point that out for y'all as well. These are giving like maternity. They come up so high on me, and I have a longer torso, y'all, but I'm still gonna go through this review. So initially, they feel very comfortable, very cozy, feels softer and less compressive. So I would say these are gonna be about a light to medium compression and support legging, definitely a full length legging. I think if you're a taller girly, because the fabric is like more stretchy now, you'll be fine with, you know, the length for these. They are nice on the glutes because they have that elastic glute rise seam. They're not very cellulite friendly, especially in lighter color, but I think if you were to go with the darker gray, you would probably be fine. I would say these are probably still going to be pretty good in terms of fabric durability. I don't believe they will pill. It's fair at sweat wicking, but because it's kind of like a warmer, more dense fabric, it doesn't dry the sweat as fast as new gray or light butter fabric. With any light color, you are going to show sweat. It's going to show up more apparent, but with the darker colors, you will be fine. Are going to be either true to size or potentially sized down. These are just really big. You can just kind of see how stretchy they are, and you can tell in like the crotch area, I just have all this extra, you know, fabric. So this is just not my size. But remember, if you're sizing down in any legging, you're risking them showing up more opaque because that fabric is stretched out. Overall, I want to give the reason why it loses half points for me and my personal preferences is because I actually do prefer the more dense Dream Heather fabric. It just is durable. I feel more held in. I feel like it's more compressive on my tummy, and these ones are just not. Waistband just comes up so high, and it's not as tapered in as it used to be. So it's very loose, and I'm thinking even if I size down in a large, it's just still gonna come up pretty high and not like snatch me in. They're just not really within my preference. But yeah, I was a little surprised at how high up these came. I'm going to try to exchange these for a smaller size, so if you follow me on Instagram, I will do a size update on my stories. Next up, we have the Dream Heathered 7-inch shorts. So this is made of the Dream Heathered fabric. These are going to be exactly like the Dream Heather leggings, except they have a 7-inch shorts in seam length. Everything about this is pretty much the same, so I'm not going to reiterate that. An elastic band and the glute rise. This is coming in 3 different colors, only coming in the 7-inch inseam length. I'm interested to see, because it has that elastic in the glute rise, if this is going to pull up a little bit and appear just a little bit shorter. Slight V waistband, a silicone BUFFBUNNY logo on the back, no front rise seam, and that elastic band in the glute rise. The Dream Heather fabric just feels a little bit thinner and stretchier and softer than what it felt like from the Pulse collection. This is the Dream Heather bodysuit. I believe we saw this either in the Genesis or the Boyfriend collection. This Heather gray is different from this new Dream Heather gray. So this is more of like a deeper charcoal, and this is a little bit more of a medium toned gray. So I just wanted to point out the color comparison for those. Next up, we have the return of the Legacy 6-inch shorts. In the Snack collection is maybe the last time we saw Legacy shorts, but if y'all watched my story reviews for the last BUFFBUNNY collection launch, the Newbray fabric has been restored. I literally weighed out the original Legacy leggings from like one of the launches last year, and then the new Legacy leggings, and there was a little bit of a discrepancy between all three in their weight. They were all a size large, but last year, Newbray fabric was a lot thinner, stretchier, and just didn't feel the same. Newbray fabric is exactly how the team intended it to be. So Legacy shorts are coming in 2 different colors that are solid, and then 1 print. So this is Azul, and this is Azul bossy print. Pretty stretchy. I would say light to medium compression and support in my opinion. This does have a rounded waistband, a little bit of a taper in the waistband. We have a double crotch gusset, no front rise seam, and no stitching at the top of the waistband. It is simply the fabric folded onto itself all throughout the top. Iconic arch glute contour butterfly detail in the waistband, thicker stitch seam, no elastic band in the glute rise, and that stitch detailing is so nice. It's like a little bit wider, a little bit more robust, and silicone Buff Bunny emblem, a side stitch seam that runs all the way down. Other legacy leggings are the exact same thing. I just wanted to show y'all that the Azul bossy print has a white base and then the color added on top of it. So although these are both Azul, they do look just a little bit different. I think this looks a little bit lighter purpley toned, and this has a little bit more of a bluer tone to it, and that's just because the dye was added on top of the white base. These are the legacy leggings that came out in the snack collection. This is a size medium and these are a size large, so the waistband is going to look just a little bit different. This is a little bit smaller. These up and stretch these out, we can see that, yeah, it's a little bit stretchier. So I know this is a larger size, but these just definitely feel different. So I'm glad that the Newbury fabric is restored. It is a high-rise or ultra-high-rise short. On me, because I have a longer torso, these are just high-rise. It looks like, I think it's pretty flattering on the crotch area. It does show my cellulite, so it's fair in cellulite coverage for the solid color. And then it's, you know, fair in showing off the booty. This is a solid color, but just like the bossy print, they're pretty good on being thick thigh friendly because you can see that much give in the thighs. Out of 10. The only thing I'm not in preference for is that the Newbury fabric, I wish it was just more dense and compressive like it used to be, but that is the only thing that I'm not in favor for the legacy shorts. Next up, we have the cutest little thing. This is the Pillow Mini Tote, and this is coming in 3 different colors. So here is the Sunshine color, not Sunbeam Yellow. This is called Sunshine, which is a little bit more of a pale yellow color. It's also coming in black and oat milk. So this is made of a polyester fabric, a 7.5-inch wide, 6-inch height, and 3 1/4 inch depth bag. It does come with a removable crossbody strap. When the strap is fully extended, it is 52 inches. So first off, it is kind of like a pillowy puffer design, and I know these bags are really popular, but up close, because it is like a pillowy kind of quilted design, I wanted to show y'all this really beautiful up close petal stitch detailing. Oh, it's so cute. This does not have any metal or plastic bone. It is just a tiny bit flimsy, but it still does stay upright. I think the way that it is stitched together, all the fabric combined, just makes a nice reinforced shape. But on the side, it does not have any stitch detailing. On the bottom, it is nice and plain as well. There is like a cardboard or a plastic sheet that is in the bottom just to kind of help it keep that shape. So that pillowy design is also in the straps. So the straps are simply sewn into the base, and they're like puffer little handles. They're so comfortable and really cute. I love the texture of them. Zipper protective barrier that covers up the width of the bag, but the sides are open for the bag. I have 2 metal D-rings that are tonal. They're almost the exact color of this fabric, but just a little bit darker toned. These are to hook up that extender crossbody strap. The zipper is plastic, but the zipper handle is metal with that Buff Bunny collection emblem that is engraved. The zipper is vegan leather lined, and it's just sewn into the fabric. There is the extender, 52 inches long. The extender has that metal hardware and metal clasps that we hook into those D-rings. On the inside, I feel like this has a pretty decent amount of room. I have my iPhone 14 in there. 3 different card holder built-in slots. And then on the other side, it does have a little zipper compartment and a Buff Bunny collection engraved tonal zipper. And then that's pretty much it for the inside base. Shell liner is nylon, and the outside is polyester. The straps, and you still have a little extra room, so it's just a really cute grab and go kind of bag. Moving on to honorable mentions, the Revolution sports bra, the legacy leggings. So I will do a story review update on my Instagram for those items when they come in. Another honorable mention is the legacy 4-inch short. That is coming in 3 different colors. The Twilight Dream Heather sports bra, I'm really excited to try this. I'm gonna try to snag this on launch day. This is coming in 4 different colors. It's made of Dream Heather fabric, which again is updated, so it does feel a little bit softer and stretchier. It's not as compressive as what it was in its original form. It's going to be a medium to high support level sports bra, a nice sweetheart neckline, and a multiple crossover back design. It does come with removable bust pads, side contour to the bust. It is a long line sports bra. I would say, just looking at the pictures, that it's going to resemble the long line length of the Revolution sports bra. The Definition long sleeve tee is coming in 3 different colors, the 100% cotton, a classic tee fit. None of the athletes in the athlete Discord explained if it was like the softer cotton that is more brushed, like what we saw in the Pulse collection, or if it's a little bit more of that rough cotton feel that's not brushed that we saw from like the Juicy collection and the Grounds collection t-shirts. But this one does have a longer look to it. Just looking at the model, the top is long enough to cover the bum. So I think the length on it is a little bit more resembling to the length of the Grounds collection t-shirt and not so much the Pulse collection. I think those t-shirts were just a little bit shorter. They hit about mid-butt or hip length on me, but this one's a little bit longer. And we also have some no-show socks. No-show socks are really great for sneakers, or if you're going to wear flats or something. But if you're going to do any type of like fitness class where you're required to be barefooted, I think that these are really great. They are made of cotton, polyester, and elastane. They do come in size extra small, and there was a discrepancy on the website for the last launch, so shout out to Banana Split, who follows me on Instagram, one of my friends. She pointed out that the sizing on the website was not describing what shoe size matches up to it. So the team did add that in this PDF. So a size extra small is for a shoe size 5 to 8, and a medium large sock size is for a shoe size 8.5 to 12.5. These are a no-show design, so they have a silicone grip on the inside to help stay up on the foot, which is nice, and they have an anti-pilling finish, so hopefully they won't pill too much. I know the Scrunch socks kind of do. My top picks from this entire launch are going to be the Poshknit Scrunch sports bra, and that was a last-minute decision. I was not impressed with the last few Poshknit sports bras we saw from BUFFBUNNY collection. Along with the updated fabric feel, I think it fits so well. It's going to be very size inclusive as a light support sports bra. My second favorite item has to be the little pillow quilted tote. I think it is so stinking cute. I really hope the BUFFBUNNY collection brings a larger tote in that design, but like a lipstick red, or I don't know, like a Pop Rocks color, like brights. I'm so ready for spring, so ready for, you know, getting out of this winter funk and just wearing bright colors nonstop. My third favorite item has to be the bodysuit. The bodysuit, even though it's not doubly lined all throughout, it is super flattering. I think it fits my smaller chest size pretty well, and it looks really great on the booty. It's not as hard to get on as the I Am a Warrior collection bodysuit, and yeah, I'm just really impressed with all of those 3. My least favorite item from this entire launch will have to be the Dream Heather legging, because, you know, I did mess up and get a size up, but I think the rise is really high. So again, I'll give you a sizing update review on my Instagram stories, but the fabric is softer and stretchier, and it's just not exactly what I was hoping for. So it surprised me, but again, maybe I will exchange and size down to my true size large, and hopefully we'll, you know, see a difference in how it fits and if I like it better. And yeah, I do want to address that a lot of people left really nice comments on the last I Am a Warrior collection. I just gave a little snippet of some of the things I struggle with as a disabled person, you know, trying to get into powerlifting competitions. It really opened my eyes that, hey, maybe I should dive a little bit more into YouTube and explain my background in powerlifting and the things that I've been trying to accomplish. In a nutshell, I am very impressed with the power of the internet and the ability to spread like awareness, to educate people, to shed light on some of the things that you may not even think of, because if you're not disabled, you don't really live in that person's shoes, right? You're just not exposed to the same experiences. And in a nutshell, I use the internet to grow my platform and to spread more knowledge about differently abled athletes, trying to make a space in powerlifting and have a fair competition space. I tagged United States of America Powerlifting Federation, USAPL women's page, and multiple federations or like groups that I tried to compete with, and they just did not have the knowledge or the space or advocacy for disabled people to compete and to explain like, hey, these are the things we struggle with. Could there be a different categorization, different division for us that's made that really focuses on our needs? And so, you know, I get nervous posting. I always keep things in draft for a few days. I overanalyze them before I post them. And USAPL, the admin who runs the page on Instagram, they saw my video and they invited me to have a seat at the Disabled Athlete Committee table for USAPL. This was last summer. And I came locked and loaded. I surveyed all of my disabled athlete friends who are lifters on Instagram, and I said, you know, you're a short statured person, you're deaf, you're missing a leg, you're missing an arm, you have cerebral palsy, you have a neurological disorder, you have, you know, a bone density issue. I asked all of these people, what do you struggle with? How do the rules or judging need to be adjusted to accommodate to you and your needs being disabled? And I also copied the Disabled Strongman Competition Federation's rulebook, Paralympics rulebook, and I came to the Disabled Athlete Committee and presented, these are the things that we're looking for. How can we make this happen? And I have been working with USAPL since the summer on essentially creating a whole new federation, creating a division for disabled athletes that encompasses subdivisions for people missing upper limbs, a subdivision for people having a missing leg, a neurological, you know, muscle disorders, small stature individuals, non-hearing, non-verbal, you know, there's all of these different subdivisions that we are trying to create a rule book for, and you know, allowing assistive equipment where needed, you know, different prosthetics, different requirements, you know, equipment checks, trying to create more fairness and an even playing field. So the creation of these subdivisions is going to allow someone with missing limbs competing against someone who is, you know, a similar body type. It's not fair if I were to compete against someone who's missing an entire leg. You know, our differences are just so vast that it's not a fair competition space. So we are working really hard on that and creating a ranking system which requires a major database and entry, and you know, working with a medical professional on how to professionally term these different subdivisions. And I have the internet to thank for that, because if I wouldn't have put myself out there, if I wouldn't have brought up the awareness and the need for more inclusion on the platform for differently abled bodies, then none of this probably would have got the ball rolling. So I just want to express to y'all and share with y'all a little bit of my story, and that, you know, the internet can be used for good. It can be used to spread awareness, to educate people, to create the change that you want to make in the world. So yeah, I'm really excited for all of the things that we're working on. There's really no time frame as to when we'll have all of this in place and, you know, ready to go, but it is something that, you know, I'm very passionate about. That just kind of fell in my lap, and I figured if I can be an advocate for myself, but for other disabled individuals, then I'll do it. So yeah, we're really excited to make these changes, and hopefully they'll roll out within the next, you know, year. So I wanted to explain that to y'all because, you know, some of you commented that you had no idea it'd be difficult for a disabled person to compete. It's incredible. I have a few friends that have spinal bifida or some type of paralyzation where they are in a wheelchair. Cerebral palsy is one of them, and they have a special bench where it extends out and you essentially do a deadlift sitting down. So you grab onto the bar and you can sit upright with it. So it was pretty incredible for me to be a part of this experience because I was educated. So I feel really fortunate to, you know, have this opportunity to do that. It's actually a lot of work being on the committee, and it actually doesn't pay anything. It's all voluntary, but it's something that, yeah, just kind of fell in my lap, and I'm really happy and proud to be a part of. So thank y'all for asking more questions in the comments section of my last review video, because I just gave a snippet of it, and you know, it made me feel good to be able to spread this awareness with y'all and share a little bit of my story. So hopefully, you know, someday if I have more time, I would be able to make more, you know, YouTube videos just explaining my experience, you know, how nasty some people have treated me in the powerlifting world, not being inclusive, not taking me seriously. You know, I've had people complain that I was cheating because of my assistive equipment, and it's like, literally, I cannot pick up a whole lot with 2 fingers, you know. So maybe I'll dive into that, but time is of the essence. So right now we're focusing on this. But okay, anyway, if you made it to the end, thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate all of y'all's support. Please leave me a like, leave a nice comment, subscribe to my channel if you thought this review was helpful. Please use my code LEXI, L-E-X-I, at checkout on any of your Buff Bunny collection purchases to save you 10%, but also help the team know that my support is growing. And yeah, head over to my Instagram page. That'll be linked below for any type of story review updates on the clothing, or just kind of see what I'm doing with adaptive or disabled powerlifting and lifestyle stuff. But I appreciate you, all of your support, and I really appreciate all of the support that I have received from everybody on YouTube. Like, just watching it helps my views, helps me get more exposure. So I appreciate you being here. If you did use my code on the last collection, I really appreciate it, because I think me just mentioning, hey, I'm not going to be here that much longer, y'all came out and showed up when, you know, I needed you to, so thank you for that. And I hope you have an amazing time and snag all of your favorite items from this launch, and I'll see you next time.